Hello, welcome to the live. It just
Mine
lags.
lagging?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it lags.
why. Oops.
Welcome to
Guess
technology.
who's here?
We got a dog,
It's Juniper!
or as Mike calls her,
Delfino! Even though I think
Delfino.
that's a male name, but that's okay.
Mike's making up
Hi,
names
guys.
for dogs.
It's Juniper! Look at this little sweetheart.
She's a
Hello,
good dog.
everyone. I was talking to dog voice, so I was like, I shouldn't do that. That'd be weird.
Why?
Because it'd be weird.
Wait a minute. Oh,
Are we
just ran
rolling?
into a wall. We're here.
Yes, we are. Okay.
We've already
Nice.
got questions coming in. Nice. Welcome, Rachel. We're going to just throw this up here as well for everyone coming on. Leave a comment to enter today's giveaway as part of this live. Any comment lets you in, or enters you, not lets you in, enters you. We're going to be giving away access to Happily Home Alone Pup to one lucky winner during this live. We're also going to be talking about Happily Home Alone Pup, what it is, what it's good for, why you're going to love it.
Oh yeah, if you get selected, so just in case you've already got Happily Home Alone Pup, if you
Yeah.
get selected, we'll get you something else.
Yep.
You'll still win something, and we'll figure that out, whether it's a bag of treats or access to impulse control. Or I guess you get access. Yeah, that's the other thing. Right now, it's still possible. We're giving to the first 200 people to buy it. It's still possible because we're in that window where if you buy Happily Home Alone Pup, you get 21 impulse control games free right now.
Which is quite a deal.
That is a heck
I
of a
don't
deal.
say so
Yeah.
myself.
I agree. Yeah.
Oh, that was the.
I'm actually not going
That
to
was
answer
Delfino.
any questions today. I'm going to let
Can you
Juniper
put her in front of
answer
your
all the
face?
questions. Yeah.
Like so.
All of them she's going to. Do you guys want to know about recall? I can help.
She seems so alarmed.
I know.
She's
She's like, why is this guy doing
who is
to
this
me?"
guy? Put me down.
It's
Get
okay.
out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah, so that was so weird. I'm sorry, guys.
I love
it. Yeah, so
Great.
but like Devin said, all you have to do is comment anything. Say hello, say where you're from, ask a question, which would be one of the best things. Ask a question about training, and we'll get to those. And you will be entered to win Happily Home Alone Pup Access. We'll give it to you for free. If you already have it, we'll figure out something else, like we said
Let's
a minute ago. So
Answer Rachel.
let's do it.
Rachel said, what is Happily Home Alone Pup? So let's tell her. There's a little image. It doesn't do much justice, but I wanted to have something visual on there for them to
Oh,
see.
good. Very good.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So Happily Home Alone Pup, we partnered with Julie Naismith, who is, for lack of a better term, a separation anxiety expert. That's actually probably the best term.
Yeah, not lack of a better
Not
term.
lack of a better term.
She is.
Just-
She absolutely is.
Yeah, and she is CTC and CSAT certified. So a couple different certifications. She has worked through and through an expert in separation anxiety. And so we partnered with her to create this video course called Happily Home Alone Pup. You want to tell them kind of
Yeah.
what it is?
Kind of the breakdown. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's broken into 3 different modules. You'll see this when you get into the course there. But the first one kind of teaches you about separation anxiety and kind of loneliness behaviors and things like that. One of the things we like about this course is it's not just separation anxiety. There's a ton of information on if your dog is just lonely at home or if they are acting up when you're away or things like that. So we wanted to make it possible for anyone who had challenges with their dog when they leave the home to find some solutions. So the first video is here's everything that you're potentially dealing with separation anxiety and how to determine if your dog has it or if maybe they have some other issues.
Yep.
The next video talks more specifically about cures for separation anxiety and how to fix those. And then the last one talks more about some of those dogs that may not be as much dealing with separation anxiety as they are dealing with just home alone behaviors and stuff like that. So it'll walk you through that. There are PDFs that go with all of them. There's other supporting videos that go with it as well to help show you some ways that you can improve the life of your pup and your relationship with them. But yeah, Julie's built a really nice course, and like we said before, right now you can get when you get it, you can get 21 brain games, 21 impulse control games free along with your purchase as well. So, like we said, we're doing that giveaway for one person if they write a comment on here. So, any comment, say hello, ask a question, whatever it is, go
tell
for
us
it.
your dog's name.
Yeah.
Tell us your dog's Favorite color?
Yeah, whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you
Delfino's
want.
favorite color is quiet
Yeah, it
because
is.
she doesn't know how to make any noises.
Oh, she's the sweetest. What other questions do we have?
That's
Can we
it.
answer
Oh,
some
yeah,
training
here we go.
questions here?
So we got some training questions from Rachel Buckley. She said, "My puppy is 5.5 months old. She's getting so naughty, stealing things, climbing furniture, and drinking water out of glasses. Play biting, but getting herself too worked up. Any advice?" Yes, we do have some advice. This is a very, very common thing. So 5.5 months. I would venture to say that some of this you could maybe call like the teenage phase, or you're starting to see a little bit of regression, is what it sounds like. So there's kind of two steps that you can take when you're seeing this general regression in your dog's behavior. Number one is to kind of like refocus your training and maybe get back into training a little bit more. I'm not sure, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of times when we get to that 5, 6, 7, 8 months range, we start thinking, oh, my dog's really good at X, Y, and Z behavior, and we get a little bit lax with our training. And so a lot of times it's just stepping up that training to get back to what you were doing in the beginning. Another thing, and this is probably the most important thing, is oftentimes that regression happens because we're starting to give our dogs too much freedom. We start to think kind of like, with how we start training them a little bit less typically, we start to think, oh, they're pretty good at this behavior.
They're ready. They're good to go.
Yeah, I'm going to let them explore this part of the house, or I'm going to let them do this thing, or I'm going to not keep as close of an eye on them. And so I would venture to say that taking a step back and controlling the environment a little bit more will probably fix most of those problems, i.e. stealing things. Again, if you have your dog tethered to you in the house like Zach talks about, that is going to help with that. Climbing on furniture, again, controlling the environment. If they don't have access to the furniture, it can help with that. Drinking water out of glasses, I just imagine the dog like picking up the glass and drinking, which if that's the case, we need footage of that. But controlling the environment will help a lot with that. Kind of like taking a step back and just refocusing your efforts and not allowing your dog to get into those situations.
Yeah, and one thing that we always say too is anytime your dog is having some type of behavior issue, are you exercising your pup enough?
Yeah.
Right, because a lot of times you are, and sometimes no matter how much you're exercising, the puppy might still behave a little like a puppy, right? Because that's what they do.
Right.
But a lot of times also, if you give your dog plenty of exercise, she wants to chew on my hand here. She's going for it.
You can't see her on the video.
You can't see her
It's
still?
just like you.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just looking like a
because there's
weirdo.
that thing blocking it.
Oh, that's what it is. There we go. How about that?
And on top of the exercise, you were talking more physical. Don't forget the mental exercise as well.
For sure.
Super underrated, underutilized thing for most pup parents. Like, we don't give our dogs enough mental exercise. And so making a conscious effort to do that, you can do puzzle games, you can do puzzle feeders, you can do, things like trick training, different things to just really get your dog working their brain. Super important.
Yep.
Rachel asked, referring to Happily Home Alone pup, I believe, said, "That sounds incredible. Do you access it through the app?" So at this time, it's just accessed via the Pupford website. In the future, our plan is to...
We're working on
your
it.
face?
No, not my face. She's kind of wants to get these buttons in my shirt a little bit, but
Being a pup.
she's sweet about it.
In the future, yes, we are our plan is to make it so that you can access both 21 Impulse Control games and Happily Home Alone Pup and other future courses that we're going to launch within the app and within the website via one purchase.
Yeah, so we're working on that technology right now, building
As
that
we
out.
speak.
So it'll be there. It'll be here soon. But
Yes.
yep. So let's
Other
see.
questions. We had one from Jess Lavaroni. Hope I said that right. She said, "Stop leash chewing. My pup is 4 months old and always chews on the leash." So
Is this happening when you're walking? Like when you're out walking, they're turning around and biting the leash, or is it what type of situation is? I guess is the first question there.
right, and if it's when you're walking them, I recommend you go watch Zach's most recent YouTube video, because it'll, if nothing else, it'll give you some ideas, but it'll also give you some like a semblance of like hope, or like knowing that like it's okay, because Zach is one of the best dog trainers in the world, and he's had his dog for a couple months now. So his pup's 15 weeks old in the most recent video, and she still bites on the leash. So some of it is just time, right? Like some of it is that puppy behavior. If you go watch the video on his YouTube channel, the most recent one, I believe, you'll see essentially what he tries to do to stop that leash biting is just redirection. When it's happening, redirecting with a leave it and then getting into a sit and a stay or something like that, or look at me, or, just kind of getting them off that behavior and rewarding when they do correct behaviors once they leave that behavior.
So break into a training session, have treats available, and if you break into that training session, then that'll, like Devin said, get them going on a different path.
She says, always chewing. We keep him on a leash in the house, tethered to us most of the time, and he'll just chew on it instead of his toys. Yeah, and I mean, so kind of what we just said. A lot of it is going to be redirection. I would recommend going and watching Zach's most recent YouTube video, because he is going through this exact same thing with his dog, and that video will give you way better answers than us trying to explain to you, because it's very, very well done. I just watched that video yesterday. It's super good. So check that one out. I had a couple other questions coming in here. Just a reminder, on this live, leaving any comment enters you into today's giveaway, which is access to Happily Home Alone Pup, the new video course that we just launched with Julie Naismith. And here's another question. So, Alexis said, question, how do I deal with a puppy with fear, aggression, and doesn't like to be around people? He is fine around family, and they're young kids, but anyone else, he'll growl and back away, and I try to socialize him with people. He's great with other dogs, also the vet. He hates being around the vet, even when making it positive and doing the video training on that. Okay, so you said puppy, fear. So yeah, that's kind of like two parts to the question, right? Because you need to figure out if it's actual like aggression or if it's just fear, and your dog is overwhelmed and isn't used to being overwhelmed, right? Because like there's a difference between fear and like full-blown aggression. So that would be kind of the first tip in determining that. And in reality, disagree with me if you think differently, but if you're thinking that it's actual aggression, and honestly with how this case sounds, you'd probably be best off getting the help of an in-person trainer, at least just a session or two, so they can help you diagnose exactly what's happening and how you can really pin down what the actual behavior is rooted in, because it's hard for us to kind of know/see what it might be. Do you see where that question is?
Yeah, I'm just rereading right now. Yeah. No, that makes sense though. Most of the time with aggression issues, we recommend just working with a local trainer, because there's so many that serious. If you're not worried about real aggressive aggression, I guess you could say, then exposing them in positive environments and in positive interactions to more people and more dogs is going to be your best bet.
Right.
But if they're showing too much aggression in situations like that, you don't want them to bite another person or a dog or anything. So you kind of have to gauge that based on how they're acting and what you're seeing. And there's a good chance you might need someone local, a positive reinforcement trainer to help you with that. But
especially because if it's happening when they're young, the sooner you can kind of start working on it to overcome it, the better. Especially, because if things like that go, especially like kind of the fear and the like being overwhelmed by people, that type of thing, if it goes on too long, you often are going to run into deeper problems, and it's going to cause other issues down the road. So, yes. We had another question up there by Emma Foster. Said, any tips to prevent a dog from jumping on other people? My dog does not jump on me, but does on other people when I'm not present.
Mm-hmm. So one of the best things that you can do for a dog that's jumping on people, even if they don't jump on you, you can do some training things that will help them. So find someone that they get excited about, whether it's someone else in the family or a neighbor or a friend or whoever else it is. And if it's someone, especially if it's someone that they normally jump up on, it will be good for this activity. But basically what you want to do is go in your living room or an entry room or something like that, or in a hallway, and have your pup on a leash, have them do a sit and stay and look at me next to you. So you want treats there as well. Have the other person on the other side of the room and have that other person approach. As they approach, if your pup stands up at all or moves towards them at all, or tries to be the one that's making contact, that other person needs to turn around and remove themselves from your pup and move away. And they go back to the other side of the room where they were at, and then you try again, basically. So get your pup into a sit stay, have them look at you, have the person approach again, and the minute that they go to greet them, the person turns around and moves away. Eventually, your dog will realize that, okay, every time I try to move towards them, I don't get what I want, so I'm going to sit and wait as they approach. And as that person's able to get closer and closer and closer, and eventually get up next to them and give them a head scratch, then that's when your pup gets the reward of
Right.
meeting the person, and then you can also give them a treat as well to tell them good job. But it'll take a lot of practice doing that over and over with different people and in different environments. And as you practice that and they're nailing it in more and more and more difficult environments, they should get much better at that. But
Yeah.
that's your best place to start with something like that. And then the other thing that you need to do is anytime your dog is around other people, you just kind of need to tell the other people the rules as well. Where
Right.
it's like, hey,
Right.
if my pup isn't on all fours or sitting and asking for a pet in that way, if they're nuzzling too much or they're jumping up or anything like that, you have to ignore them. You can't give them the attention, because if the dog jumps up and the person puts their hands out and is giving them a head scratch, that's just reaffirming the bad behavior that they're doing.
Right.
So you want to give the rules to the people that they're interacting with as well, and that'll help a lot in the situation.
Yep, agreed. And then once they handle it where they're on the leash, the next level would be practicing that same exact game with your dog off the leash. But again, take it step by step. That is actually one of the general principles of the games that we teach in 21 Impulse Control games. It's called the 4 Paws game. So if you want a better visual of that or kind of a more step-by-step breakdown, you can find that on the website under the 21 Impulse Control games. That is one of the games that's in there. So just one other, or well, not one other, but wanted to kind of mention again about Happily Home Alone Pup. We just launched this yesterday, and we're just kind of coming on this live to answer some questions and to just let you know a little bit more about Happily Home Alone Pup. It's definitely not just, look at that pup. Look at her.
Say hello.
She's just too sweet.
Look at this little Juniper.
She's Delfino.
Oh yeah, that too. Look how sweet she is.
She's never done anything wrong in her whole life.
Keep going though. She's the second host here.
I love that. So I love that her hair too looks like maybe like an 80s, like the host of like a 1980s morning show.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like she is nailing that look.
Yeah.
There's going to be, whether they do or they do not, there's going to be steps and information in the next modules of Happily Home Alone Pup that are going to help you understand how to start slowly training out that separation anxiety, or if it's just destructive behaviors at home or home alone problems. There's going to be ideas and tips and some training steps in there as well to help you overcome those things. So it's not just for people. Hey,
carry on.
It's not just for dogs with separation anxiety. It can also be if you feel like your dog is maybe being destructive when you leave them at home, or you're just a little bit worried about how they're acting when you leave them home alone. It's a great resource. Again, it's led by Julie Naismith, who is one of the best at separation anxiety training and overcoming that in dogs. She is an expert in that field. So definitely recommend checking that out. Have any more questions come in here? We have one here.
I've practiced that method and she follows my directions well. It happens when I am not presently there. The people who greet her, reward her for jumping behaviors. I have given the rules to the other people, but they don't listen until after they have rewarded my dog. Well, that's one of those control. It seems like that's kind of one of those control the environment situations too, where it's like, hey,
yeah,
I don't know, maybe it's you go ahead. It sounds like you've got a direction you're going to go.
No, I would agree with that it's potentially still just as part of needing to control the environment. It's just, I would venture to say that your dog doesn't actually understand the behavior, right? Like they're getting it right most of the time, but I wouldn't say that they fully have overcome the jumping problem, right?
Yeah.
And so that, like you're saying, you need to continue to train, continue to reinforce it, because just because our dogs do something correctly most of the time, or in a lot of situations, that doesn't mean that they fully understand the behavior. Not discounting the work that you've done, and that your dog is starting to get it and starting to show that they understand when you're around. I think it just needs to be practiced more to like more fully ingrain the behavior in your dog's mind, because right now it's like, okay, I'll do it if someone's here, but if not, then
Yeah.
no.
Well, but the other part of it is her pup's getting a massive reward every time she sees
Right.
those other people, because it'll be really hard to teach that behavior as long as they're continuing to reward her your pup when is it a he or she? Sorry. Whenever your dog yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
okay,
her.
so whenever she jumps up on him, she's getting that behavior rewarded. So that may be a situation where it's like, maybe you need I don't know who the people are. They may be, people that are very close to you, so you don't want to like spend less time with them by any means. But maybe it's just, you got to reiterate it with them. You've got to express to them how important it is that if they continue to do that, sometimes she may end up jumping on an old person or a little kid and hurting someone. So just expressing to them how important it is to you that she understands that behavior and that she's learning how to do it, and they're facilitating the continuance of that bad behavior by rewarding her, basically.
You could also set the situation up without it actually being real, like by doing the same thing and practicing that game, but you stepping out of the room and then having the person who is playing that four paws game with you, like have them have the understanding of, okay, I need to turn around and back away and keep playing that game even without you there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like practice the four paws game, but you just not be there. So have it be someone else who they might be prone to jumping on, but you coaching that other person a lot right before you do it to say, okay, this is exactly what you need to do. Even give them some treats so that when the dog does go back onto their four paws, they can give the dog a treat, that type of thing, so that they're practicing without you being there.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Get them involved in the training. That's great.
Yeah. All right. So we are going to pick a winner for today's little mini giveaway. Chauncey Karina said, most of the time the humans are the ones that need the most training. Some might refuse to follow the rules. Yeah. LOL. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, and that's really the principles of like dog training in general, right? Yeah. A lot of it is like dog. So yeah, that is definitely true, Chauncey. Speaking of Chauncey, so we are going to announce
great timing on your comment.
Great segue there for today's giveaway winner, which is Chauncey. Congratulations!
Yeah.
So
congratulations.
We should have like I wish that we could have some confetti that fell down.
Oh man!
But the confetti fell down at her house.
Oh yeah!
Like somehow we could like through the camera, like through the webcam, like confetti shoots out.
No, that's not creepy at all.
Well, not like a creepy way, just in like a cool way.
Yeah, if we figure out a way to do that without being creepy, we'll do it.
Well, like people say, all right, I'm entering this giveaway. If I win, I say yes.
I opt into
confetti falling from the sky and me having to vacuum it up.
Nice.
One day.
Nice.
So congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Chauncey Karina. You won. So send us
a DM on Facebook.
Yep, a DM on Facebook, and we will get you hooked up with access to Happily Home Alone Pup. And because right now we're still in that period, everyone that purchases Happily Home Alone Pup gets access to 21 impulse control games as well. Chauncey, you'll get access to that also. So nice work. Everyone else, keep in mind, like I just said, there's still a window where you can get the...
She said she'd love confetti.
Okay.
It's a great idea.
We'll figure it out. For everyone else, remember, you get access to 21 impulse control games as well for free right now. You're still in that window where if you purchase access to Happily Home Alone Pup, you can get the 21 impulse control games access as well. But thanks for joining us today, everybody. And also, thanks for being a part of the community. Thanks for supporting each other and helping each other and being kind to each other. We're all working through some potentially really tough stuff with these new puppies and the biting and the barking and everything else that we're trying to help them figure out as they're growing up in their new families.
But then you look at the cute face,
geez,
and it's all fine.
Look at that. Yep. And for those of you that are struggling right now, you can make it. You can do it. We've been there. We've had the puppy blues before. Keep practicing, keep working, and before you know it, they're going to overcome a lot of those behaviors that are really challenging for you. Thanks for being a part of the community, and we will talk to you guys soon.